Our next project is fighting moisture and mold. Generally, wet ground is the main problem in downtown Vienna. Right here, specifically at Schleifgasse 12, there is an old multi-family tenement house, and in it, our client's apartment. Wet ground is not the only problem. Thermal bridges are another issue, caused of course by poor external facade insulation and limited ventilation. This is especially significant in winter with low temperatures and simultaneously high humidity. Such conditions cause numerous fungal outbreaks. This occurs especially in corners because the ventilation is usually weakest there. We're talking about air exchange. The photos from the camera as well as the thermal images you see are the result of the work of UFI experts. It is an institute that deals with, among other things, estimating construction damages. In Austria, it is customary to invite experts from this institute to conduct a technical audit of the building before carrying out renovation work. Such an audit ends with appropriate documentation highlighting the areas affected by damage and recommendations for the contractor. The damage locations have been marked on the plan since the client provided us with this plan and we started working. However, to verify it from our side, we also conducted a study of the internal temperature of the building and simultaneously the humidity at the so-called height H1 meter. Which means that at a height of 1 meter above the floor, we checked both these factors and it turned out that the temperature is just under 19 degrees, while the humidity at this height is as much as 60%, which is really too much because up to 50% is the maximum it should be inside this apartment. The first step, of course, is disinfection with 14% hydrogen peroxide to remove all fungal spores from the walls as well as to eliminate them from the air. Next, Thermo Lime thermal insulation mortar, which penetrates deeply despite its thin consistency. It will penetrate the damaged areas and crystallize the water in them. On it, we applied a layer of typical lime mortar, which is unfriendly to fungi due to its pH. We also used it as a finishing coat, you could say, because we leveled the areas where the plaster was removed. You deserve one more word of explanation regarding the fact that I mentioned Thermo Lime as a mortar with thermal insulation properties. It means that after the water crystallizes in the wall, the temperature will rise enough to shift the dew point more to the outside, which will make it much harder for such a wall to absorb moisture. Finally, to finish, you could say the areas where we performed repair work, we covered with a layer of mineral paint. Why mineral? Because we didn't want to use dispersion paint with organic plasticizer, so it wouldn't become a breeding ground for potential fungi. All these places, as I mentioned, we covered with mineral paint, and finally we used the last layer of transparent NCT Hydro impregnate. We apply the agent using a spray method on the paint. It does not change its color, penetrates up to 5 centimeters, and protects against the return of fungi and mold. Since we produce it based on water glass, this surface becomes monolithic, all pores disappear, water does not enter, and fungi do not appear.
If you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more construction tips. Thank you for watching and see you in the next project.